Hello everybody, I'm here to talk about some of the factors that underlie great performance and success in sports. Okay, and this also applies to people's lives and relationships. So probably one of the biggest learnings I had was when I sat down with Gabriele Batistuta, who was the top footballer in Europe at the time with Inter Milan and one of Argentinian's greatest ever footballers. He told me a story when he was a boy. He would be able to just run around and score goals for fun. And then he said as he got older and as he got coached, he always felt that with the coach's instructions, he would often feel like he was having to think too much. He couldn't get into the flow state and he was always one step behind the actual defenders. And he'd find it very difficult to score any goals when he was in those thought process. So what he did as he got older, he started to realize if he had the mind of a child, he would actually end up scoring more goals. So that's exactly what he did. So before the game and during the games, he would be meditating on how he did, how he felt, and how he thought when he was a kid. And when he was a kid, there was really no thoughts. It was more about intuition. I feel I've got to go over there. Now I've got to run. I'm going to get onto this ball or whatever. There was really no thoughts. It was more about the feelings that he had. And he would just go with those feelings and basically just be more intuitive. In other words, what he was doing, he was shutting down the conscious mind and allowing the unconscious to take over. And when the unconscious takes over, the impossible becomes possible. Because we get into flow states, we can get into the zone, and this enabled Gabriele Batistuta to score many goals in his career. And he did that. He got into flow by getting into the child mindset. If you actually look at children, they don't have any fear of anything. They never fear going and playing a game, because it's just play. They see games of football, games of basketball as play, okay? And this can be related to every element of life. The people who are playful in life and see everything as a game will often be much more successful, because they're coming in there with the child mentality. The child mentality is to see everything as an opportunity and everything as potential. They're in a world of wonder, and they think they can do anything. And that is kind of what I call a quantum mind, a mind that feels that they can do anything, do, magical things, is incredibly powerful in a sport concept. You have to go in there thinking you can do anything. You have to go in there thinking you are the greatest shooter, you are the greatest striker, you are the greatest defender, okay? And it's from those thoughts, those positive self-talk thoughts, that you can get into higher levels of performance. It shuts off the conscious mind and allows the unconscious mind to take control. When the unconscious mind takes control, basically reaction time speed up, decision making speed up. That's because the mind becomes quantum. In the quantum mind, past, present, and future coexist, and you can make predictions faster. In the conscious mind, minds can become entangled. In the unconscious mind, you can basically, achieve amazing things, which is actually supported by quantum physics. That's the magic of sport. You know what's going to happen next. When you're unconscious, you can have predictions of what's going to happen next. It's called precognitions. And there is some very strong evidence that the top athletes in the world have many precognitive thoughts. Okay, so precognitive thoughts are thoughts about what's going to happen next. They know what's going to happen next. Wayne Gretzky always, when was asked why is he so great, he says, I know exactly where the puck's going to be. When top performers are asked about, how they perform so well in the most stressful situations, they say, well, I just shut off and I just let the training take over. And that's exactly what Tiger Woods used to think about. Yeah, he lets the training take over. And he often reports that there's lots of times he can't even remember playing the shot. He was that much into the zone, into this meditative state. And it's through meditations and meditative practice you can learn how to get into the flow state. And it's also getting into the child mindset that you can get into the flow state. Also, if you get into positive emotions like optimism, you can get into the flow state. So flow state allows the mind to go quantum. When the mind is quantum, you can almost achieve anything. When the mind is quantum, the impossible becomes possible.